I'm a 60-year-old father of three, two sons aged 32 and 28 and a daughter 22. This issue involves my middle son and my daughter-in-law, B, 27. During their wedding planning 6 months ago, B made it clear she values her independence and feminism, opting not to take our family's last name to maintain her identity. I respect her decision despite our family tradition favouring surname sharing. I genuinely appreciate B. She's a wonderful partner for my son, albeit sometimes her strong opinions and idealistic views seem to overlook her privilege. Our family vacations have been on pause due to global issues and significant life events. With finances not being an issue, my wife and I have traditionally covered these trips. There have been expectations of these trips, such as prioritizing family time and activities over personally preferred activities. This year we're planning a more luxurious trip to the Maldives. However, B has been assertively expressing her desire to break from tradition, which was evident during their wedding. She opted out of typical customs like flower girls, a mother-son dance, and being walked down the aisle by her father. Although I funded the wedding, I kept my feelings to myself after my son requested not to add to their stress. I didn't appreciate the communication style used and told my son, who said he would relay this feedback to B. I felt she was rude to my wife, who was sad she wouldn't be partaking in a mother-son dance, i.e. not understanding why she would be sad there wouldn't be a dance. For the upcoming trip, I've considered stating that I'll only cover expenses for those bearing our last name. After B's continuous emphasis on independence and breaking from tradition, I felt this was a reasonable stance. I discussed this with my son, who asked if I could cover their expenses this time. I thought about it and decided not to. I declined. My rationale is that B's firm stance on independence should extend to navigating the repercussions of their financial decisions. My son is disappointed, and my wife believes I'm overly rigid, arguing that family support transcends proving a point. I'm torn between respecting B's independence and wanting to assist them. Am I the idiot if I decide not to pay for my daughter-in-law's portion of the family trip to the Maldives due to her insistence on independence and refusal to adopt our family's surname? Wow, you are the idiot. Like heck is this about independence? You're punishing this uppity woman for daring to have beliefs that aren't the same as yours. The way you've presented this, you're making it clear that withholding the vacation funds is all about punishing your daughter-in-law for making different decisions. Your reasons are small and pathetic. So what if she didn't take your surname? Is your ego really that fragile? And let's be honest, this is all about your ego. It's understandable that your wife was disappointed that there was no mother-son dance, but this is something you get disappointed about for an hour or two and then you get over it. You need to butt out of their relationship. How they handle their finances and name their children is their business, and stop trying to use money to control your daughter-in-law. I was wondering, if his daughter gets married and takes the husband's name, will she then not get invited because she has another name? Or if she doesn't take the man's name, will she not get invited because she isn't enough of a subservient woman? Or will it be different if it's his daughter? OP can't have it both ways. Sure he can. He's not the idiot, and the independent couple should not ask to depend on OP to cover their costs, showing he supports their and the daughter-in-law's belief in independence. She has her convictions, and so should OP. People seem to be mad because she wouldn't take his last name, but he said she kept asserting her feminism and independence. Independence means doing it yourself. She wasn't so independent that she had to pay for a wedding. OP did. She can't have it both ways. Yeah, I get that OP's bitter about the last name thing, but it's not the only problem here. I'm guessing the other issue is that B talks a lot about being independent and then doesn't thank OP for anything OP pays for. I'm a hardcore feminist, but you don't get to yell about being a totally independent woman while your husband's family is completely funding your wedding and vacations. You can recognize that you're independent overall, but also still recognize that you're extremely privileged not to have to pay those expenses. Anyway, sorry sir, but everyone's the idiot here because B sounds like a pill and your son sounds spineless. My partner and I bought a lovely house that's great for hosting get-togethers. Most of the time we invite friends and families, mainly friends now. Earlier this week, my brother-in-law asked if we could host a get-together at our place since a friend is visiting the state, and he wanted to give this friend a house tour. I dislike having my brother-in-law over because he doesn't respect boundaries. We ask guests not to enter our bedroom and my office, but he goes in both because he was looking for our cats, or he wanted to check the place out. This man is 11 years older than us. My partner and I barely had time for each other due to our busy work schedules. This weekend we were looking forward to us time. My partner said he didn't really want people over and I said the same. My partner texted back, "We can't, sorry, we're busy this weekend." My brother-in-law kept pushing and calling, asking why we couldn't make time, and he claimed it would only be a few hours. This friend rarely visits the state we live in. My partner just kept replying that we were busy. He keeps asking what we're doing and why we're busy. We're relaxing and playing video games in the living room on Saturday evening. Brother-in-law calls my partner and says that they're outside dropping by really quick. Partner says that we're busy. Seeing us from the window, brother-in-law argues that we're just playing games. More arguing. My partner hangs up and aggressive knocking follows. We went and opened the door and there were 7 other people with him. They had alcohol and snacks. This is a common issue between brother-in-law and us. I'm just fed up with this. I asked what they were doing here and then said that we couldn't hang out tonight because we had plans to relax. We went on a tangent about our busy weeks while they stood out in the cold. I ended the conversation and told them we planned to have intimacy tonight and didn't want people around while we were at it. We already told brother-in-law, name, that we're busy. He wants details here. We're having intimacy all night. Good night, stay warm. Well, brother-in-law talked to father-in-law. Now I'm getting calls and texts on how crude and rude I am and I have no decency. My partner doesn't care how I handled it and understands I'm sick and tired of brother-in-law. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Oh, wow. Brother-in-law, take a hint. We want to be alone. Brother-in-law doesn't take a hint, obviously. You have to spell it out. He's 11 years older than you, and he complains to his daddy that you said the nasty word. Ooh. And who thinks it's okay to show your friends around someone else's house? It sounds like brother-in-law's lost his marbles. The only reason I could think of is brother-in-law lied to his friends and claimed it was his house and let his brother and sister-in-law live there. Please, next time, and there will be a next time, don't even open the door. OP, why is your partner allowing his father and brother to put the blame all on you and not defend you? He should have put them both in their place. With the brother-in-law, you'd already told him he wasn't welcome. A quick call to the police may have dispersed his group on the front lawn as he's showing he doesn't respect you and thinks he can walk all over you and your husband. Father-in-law can mind his own business. Next time, the party can go to his house and let's see if he isn't complaining. If your partner allows them to turn you into the bad person, you have bigger issues than a party. My family's lives got thrown into chaos 3 months ago when my mom got arrested for some financial-related crimes. She's probably going away for the next 3 to 8 years, we're losing our house, and she and my stepfather are getting divorced. There's no good timing for any of this, but it's especially bad now because I'm in college on the other side of the country. My stepfather isn't even in the country right now, deployed, and my only sibling, my stepsister Stacy, is an older teen. By the time my mom realized she couldn't even make bond, I only had 3 weeks until winter break, so we agreed that it would be okay for me to keep to my original flight back while things were still being sorted out. We decided that I would take a semester off school to help out until everything was settled. Having Stacy hold down the fort for that long wasn't ideal, but it's not illegal. The bills were paid and everything, so all she had to do was breathe and not burn the house down. She did not do that. She decided that all this meant she could do whatever she wanted and moved in with her boyfriend without telling anyone. The house went unattended and of course we got robbed. They cleaned the place out. Anything of value that was left after the raid is now gone, including basically all of my stuff. That's what I came home to. I immediately called Stacy, but she blocked my number. I only know where she went through social media, and she wouldn't respond to messages there, so I had to start posting about all of this on Facebook to get her to respond. And now I'm getting crap for blaming her and putting too much on a child. I'm expecting too much. On top of having to drop out of school temporarily and everything else I'm responsible for, including probably ending up as her guardian, I now have to replace anything I didn't take to college with me and immediately scramble for housing. My only expectation of her was that she would not just vanish for 3 weeks. That was her only responsibility and she just bailed. Her being a minor makes her actions worse in my opinion because it's not even legal for her to decide she just wants to live on her own now. She was legally required to stay there because our parents told her to. I don't think I'm required to pretend she was just an angel to talk about it. Edit, we have footage from a nearby security camera that proves that she wasn't involved in the robbery. Not the idiot whatsoever. Stacy is an older teen. She's almost an adult. You put your trust in her and she betrayed it. She's the one to blame. It is the highest degree of irresponsibility to be effectively house-sitting for someone and then abandoning the house. And then, on top of all that, she blocks your number because she knows she did the wrong thing. The camera only proves she wasn't there when it happened. It doesn't prove she wasn't involved. Or the sister told people what was happening and that the house was empty. OP, are you sure she didn't have any friends or associates break in and/or her boyfriend didn't do the same? It's not unheard of, and it would make a lot of sense considering her life is also in turmoil at the moment. She knew the house would be unattended and she'd have an alibi. Yep, it's too convenient that stepsister just up and left to her boyfriend's place, right in and on time. If she had the house to herself, why didn't he go stay with her? I think Mummy planned it and Step knew, as she was told to clear out and stay out of the way. The smoking gun will be that none of Step's stuff went missing because she'd conveniently taken it to the boyfriend's place. It's shady as heck. Honey, if you can afford it, fly back to where you go to school and get a place and a job. Do not take a semester off or put your life on hold for idiots. Your mom messed up. Your stepdad has a family emergency and chose to stay away because I'm sure the military would grant him emergency leave to get things settled with his daughter. Your stepsister is not your responsibility. You are not the idiot, but the rest of your family is. I, 36 female, have 2 daughters, one of whom came out as trans a year ago. Let's call them Maria, nearly adult, and Anna, teen, my trans child. I want to start by saying that when Anna came out, I had no problems so long as her transition didn't get in the way of school or grades. The problem, however, is that I have Anna's dead name tattooed on my body. I've had the tattoo since she was a toddler. It's pretty visible as it's on my neck, and every time Anna sees it, she gets visibly upset. She's told me she's looked into tattoo removal surgery and recommended that I get it removed or covered with her new name. While I have the money for it, I do not want to deal with it. After all, it is just a tattoo, and I don't think I should have it removed to show my love and dedication to this new identity. Anna, however, has accused me of not taking her seriously and that if I truly loved or cared, I'd get it removed. I understand that removing or covering the tattoo would show dedication, but I truly do not see it as necessary. I think she's being absolutely ridiculous pushing the issue. I'm an adult after all and can make decisions about my own body just as she can. This issue has strained our relationship, and now she barely looks at me. Am I the idiot? I think you are the idiot. Yes, it's your body, you can do what you want with it, but you also can't stop your daughter from seeing your choice as a sign that you don't accept her deep down. This is going to affect your relationship with her, whether you like it or not. Her dead name upsets you, she can't see you without being confronted with it, and you're all surprise-faced that she doesn't want to look at you. Bluntly, you have a choice. What do you value more? Your money and tattoo, or your relationship with your daughter? You have a right to make a choice in either direction, but you need to be able to accept the consequences of it. Listen, not going to comment on if you're an idiot or not, but is this really the hill you want to die on? That being said, do not tattoo their new name on your neck. This is a stupid idea. They're mid-teen and I can almost guarantee they will change their name multiple times before settling. I, 27 female, was often treated like I was a little princess who couldn't do anything for myself, which was aided by the fact I was a very clumsy child and some things took me a lot of practice and patience to get right. I was the butt of the joke and my family loved to tease me and crack jokes about the fact I couldn't boil water or I was a disaster everywhere I went. They would always say I could never be trusted in a kitchen and would need to find a man who could cook and clean for me in the future. It was something I resented, and it made me feel self-conscious. I tried hard not to mess up, but somehow I always seemed to. Moving out to attend college was the best thing I ever did. I met so many great people, including my husband, and I thrived in an environment where nobody was making fun of me. One of my friends was in culinary school and she taught me a lot of cooking skills that I could use in my day-to-day life. She was patient and suggested that I might have something like dyspraxia. She recognized some of my difficulties as being similar to her brother's. Sure enough, I went to my doctor, who referred me to specialists to help diagnose me. I have a milder form, so it was never brought to my attention enough. I just looked like I was careless or clumsy as a kid. I didn't see or speak to my family a lot during this time. When I did, it was awkward. My husband, then boyfriend, would come with me sometimes, and he was always so annoyed by the jokes they made about me. When we got married, we actually eloped while on vacation overseas with his family. It was amazing and made for a much less stressful wedding. My family and my in-laws had seen each other once or twice before, but briefly, so when my family decided they wanted to come and see me and stay for a weekend in a hotel, we decided to host both families, and I cooked. But we didn't announce that until my parents started making their little jokes and crediting only my husband for our home's food and cleanliness. My in-laws were aware of how my family acts, but they didn't realize how little they believed in me. My husband giddily informed my family, after they'd made idiots of themselves, that I had cooked the whole meal and that we shared those responsibilities. He said the same thing goes for the cleaning. My family was like, "No, she can't." But my in-laws said I'd been cooking almost as long as they knew me and I did a good job every time. My mother-in-law mentioned my diagnosis and my dad told her they thought I was just trying to make excuses. My family was awkward and my in-laws left with a better understanding of my family and a nice dose of anger at them for going to such lengths to humiliate me in front of them. My family was also angry at me for not explaining things better beforehand. Not the condition, but the fact I do cook now and could do it. They said I tried to humiliate them out of pettiness. Am I the idiot? Good for you, and dear God, this is the first story I've seen where the in-laws are the good guys. Seriously, well done you, and I know how much of a relief it can be to get that diagnosis and finally get the, "Oh crap, that explains so much" moment. Not the idiot. Your in-laws and husband sound amazing. Your own family, not so much. I hope they learned a lesson here, but I suspect probably not. I'm so glad her parents and family finally got a taste of their own medicine. It's wonderful that she has loving and supportive in-laws. I'm really curious what her parents thought when she eloped while on vacation with her husband's family. That should have been a wake-up call. Congratulations on getting away from such awful people.